Hello everybody and welcome to some very exciting BIONICLE 2015 news. So earlier today, several BIONICLE fan sites, including bzpower.com and the Biosector01 wiki, were sent a sneak preview of the first BIONICLE graphic novel, Gathering of the Toa. And this is scheduled to release on December 29th, so not that much longer from the time of this video's posting, but the graphic novel, we get about, I'd say, 8 pages, not counting the credits page in the front and a couple pieces of artwork, including the Toa and the protectors and their names and whatnot. 8 actual pages of the graphic novel. Presumably from the first chapter, but we don't know that for absolute certain. And it's really interesting for a variety of reasons. We get to see the art style, we get to see a little short scene involving Vizuna rescuing a little villager from a skull spider ambush, and then heading back with him to his village to fight off skull spiders that are attacking his family, his neighbors, and just residents of the village. And that's a new scene, we haven't seen that before. Then, of course, we must inevitably get to it. They go to the Temple of Time, they summon the Toa, the rest of the protectors, and Vizuna, and that's where the preview ends. But this is very, very interesting stuff. We get a lot of cool elements, gotta say. And it's pretty interesting. It all kind of blends together with the book. We can see how this story is going to hopefully exist, because if anything tells me what to expect, the fact that there's a short scene involving Vizuna that we haven't seen before kind of lends to my theory that the graphic novel isn't just going to retread the animations in the book, although it will inevitably cross the same major story beats. Like, I expect the Toa to get their golden masks, and I expect the Lost Battle to be featured. Perhaps the summer story? I'm not sure as to that. I don't actually place too many bets that we're going to see the summer story in this graphic novel, but I mean, it makes sense. But I expect there to be a plethora of new scenes intermixed between those major story beats, such as this, stuff to flesh out the world, stuff to give extra pieces of world building, etc. For instance, right here in this scene, with Vizuna and the little villager going to the village, this is the first time we've actually been in a village of some kind. Now, obviously, we learned a while ago there are multiple villages per element on the island of Okoto, so it's not like, oh, there's one jungle village in the entire island. No, this is just one of many, but it's still cool to see. We get some hut designs, even. We get to see skull spiders actually possessing people, which we never have seen in the story up till this point. This is new stuff. And we get to see the protectors have some cool fight scenes of their own without the aid of the Toa. And then, of course, the Temple of Time scene. I like how it blends into what we've seen before, because they have all the protectors meeting up, and then Milku comes along, and that kind of plays into how in the book he was gone because he was helping Bingzak, and then he comes in the last second. And it must be said, obviously, something you're going to notice is Kanohi Vahi in the last image. The Mask of Time is actually seen for the first time here. But before everybody gets excited and starts speculating about how it looks exactly the same as the G1 Mask of Time, you know, I know we've said in the past, we have had the theory that the universes may be connected. And personally speaking, I still think that's a valid theory to have. I don't think anything has debunked that 100%. But let's be real, I doubt they provided the artists or writer Wyndham with the actual picture of the Mask of Time, if there even is one. We don't know the role it's going to have in future story. We don't know if the mask will ever be produced in plastic. So for the graphic novel, they wanted to show this scene. In the book, they've managed to skirt around the Mask of Time by not actually giving a description of how it looks. But in the graphic novel, you kind of need to show them using it. So he just used a stock image, what it looks like, of the Mask of Time from G1. And it's not even drawn in the same art style. It looks very different from everything else there. So I don't think there's really anything to go by one way or the other. For now, it's just a cool reference. I wouldn't get too excited by that. I know there's been a lot of controversy over the course of the day about the art style. Some people like it, and some people don't, and I completely understand that. But personally speaking, for me, I really like it. It's not perfect. There are elements about it that look a little I hesitate to use any particular word. There are some points where it looks off, and I'll just say that. It's reminiscent somewhat of the Stuart Sager style of artwork that we saw in 2006 and 2007, where characters are often drawn as like almost stick figures. They're very lanky, they're very skinny, and in some scenes, depending on the context of the scene and the perspective of it, they lose and or gain a lot of character or body mass or even just shaping, depending on how they're framed in most shots. And there also are some graphical mistakes that people have noticed, namely in the second to last panel in this preview, you can see Narmoto talking about stuff to the rest of the protectors, because he spoke in the book, and, well, he's green. He has Vizuna's colors. And I know it's not Vizuna, because he has the shoulder-mounted gun. But he's green. And then you can see Vizuna in the background, but he's red. So, that's a mistake. So I don't really know what to make of that in particular. But I guess mistakes happen. That's pretty much all I have to say about this. Really, really excited for this graphic novel. I think a lot of people may not care too much about it at this point, and it's kind of sad to say that, but real talk has to be had. It's the year's end. Everybody's focused on 2016, looking forward to the story for that, and the Netflix show, and new story material. They took so long to come out with this graphic novel. We've seen the 2015 story numerous times now in different forms of media. We know what to expect for the basic story points. And I have to say, it probably would have been advantageous to the theme if they had released this earlier. But I also have to say that what I'm seeing here looks very impressive, and I'm really excited to see another take on the 2015 story, and hopefully we're going to learn a lot more about the world of Okoto and the world of G2 BIONICLE by reading this. And I have to say to everybody, don't forget about this. This is important. This is going to be great. This will hopefully be what we have wanted from word go. So I'm really curious to get my hands on it, along with Revenge of the Skull Spiders Book 2, also coming on the 29th of December. And you can stay tuned to TTV. We're going to be having tons of discussions about this, as well as our series BioTalk Book Club, where we're going to discuss the book in detail. And we're going to talk about the graphic novel on the TTV podcast, which you can check out 1 week early on vessel.com/TTV channel alongside all of our content. You can check out the podcast for free. It's not behind the early access paywall, but all of our other videos on the channel are, if you would like to go check those out. Your support would be greatly appreciated, and, well, that's pretty much all. Thanks for listening, and we will see you for some more exciting Bionicle news, be it 2015 or 2016, in the near future. So, see you all then. Goodbye.